they're now celebrating their 20th anniversary. But that's, for me, is the reason why I'm actually very proud of that project for Star Alliance, because it was me designing it 20 years ago, and it was me presenting it, and it was me. It's like giving birth to a child. It's stupid, but that's a little bit how it feels. And so far, the brand still lives in my house. You know, it's funny, but I feel like this is a child of mine, and I dread the moment where it's taken away from me and someone else will then look after it and maybe spoil it or do something terrible to it. So that is something that I think is important. And actually, when we look back in history, those big identities that we talk about, whether it's Braun, you know, the products, Dieter Rams and Braun, or whether we talk about AEG and how that identity was so successful, it usually is based on very strong long-term relationships between company and designer. And that is something that often is sort of ignored. I think a lot of clients think they can go to an agency, get a design, and then go with it, and then go somewhere else, and like butterflies, you know, fly from flower to flower. And really what you should do is hold on to something when it's working. And with Star, that's been happening. I mean, you never know when it's finished, but whilst it's running, it's really, really good. To me, the biggest mistakes designers make, and it's usually designers because they should know better. There is the craft element. I think craft is not as widely spread as it used to be. So if you look at a lot of logos, the simple things like the spacing between letters is just not perfect. In my days, I wouldn't have even passed that by my professor. You know, he would say, come on, back to the drawing board, this is not good enough. And now these things are actually out in print. They become real. The clients pay money for it. That's one thing. And the other thing is that most designers work on the computer, they look at the designs on the monitor, and the monitor does things that you can't always do in reality. And I've seen identities, I'm not going to name names now, where the logo looks great in print and on a monitor, where you can, for example, have a translucent symbol, but as soon as you need to print it into leather, or carve it into a material, like in a brass plate, or what, you name it, it suddenly has to be two-dimensional. And you have to create a new version of that symbol, which is completely unnecessary in my view. It's just short-sighted. And I think people are often not experienced enough to think through all the details and understand where the symbol needs to live in order to get it right. So that's a design issue, design problem.